Right on. Well, I think we are ready to rock and roll. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 110th episode of the Planet Destiny podcast.
Woo!
And officially, the 20th episode of the new crew who you're seeing here and in all the different boxes that are surrounding my face right now. Hello, I am your host, The Black Link, along with the other host, Story.
Here.
Fallout.
Present.
We're going to skip Mega. CammyCakes.
We
got a guest today.
I get skipped.
You get skipped.
I was
You're
the only
last.
one who was...
Quiet. Shut up. We don't want to hear from you. We have a special guest today, a PvP legend himself, Mr. CammyCakes. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How's everyone else?
Not bad. Not bad. Now you can talk, Mega.
Oh, okay. Darn. I just said in the chat I was not going to speak for the remainder of the podcast, but I guess since you've given me permission, thank you.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
How you guys
great.
doing this week, man? You guys all right? Have a good week in Destiny?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trials was interesting this week, but
Yeah.
Interesting
with
how.
yours.
Yeah, man.
Ooh. Yeah. How does that work with sidearms?
Yeah.
I like
Wait.
my sidearms.
What are sidearms? I've never heard of
What are
those.
those? Yeah. I have a wormwood in my pocket and in my other pocket.
Hey now.
So it's the second week of this this new brave world of hotfix 2.5.0.2.
Yes.
And how are you guys finding yourself playing in the Crucible? You settled into the new meta, which is the same as the old meta.
Just with
More sidearms.
more sidearms. Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Right on.
I feel pretty settled. I really didn't get to
Pretty
play too much outside of Trials this weekend, so I can't say that much. I had some fun matches, being a complete meta whore with the NLB sidearm combination in control at least. So I got my first ever, double down one bullet with the NLB, so I felt pretty happy this week.
Nice, dude.
So you're one of the scumbags everybody's complaining about.
Yeah, but to be fair,
No, that's
I
me.
would pull out the NLB fairly regularly before because it was the only sniper that I could do anything with at all. Because when you're as bad of a sniper as me, you need more than just the occasional special ammo box. You're going to miss a lot of shots. So it's one of my favorite guns already.
Right on, man. Right on. How best to put this without sounding like a whining scumbag?
No. Don't
Give
try
us
to
the
trim
wine.
it, dude.
We
Give
want
us
the
the
full-
pure,
us how you
unfiltered
really
wine
feel.
right now.
All right. So when it comes personally for me, the honeymoon period is over for the bright, fresh newness of the hotfix meta. I've had my week or two of trying out different guns. I'm right back to my Iasluna palindrome.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Right back where I belong. And I actually had a bit of a 4 to 5 hour session earlier today where I was trying to get some footage specifically of the Suros RE45, the high impact auto rifle, because I'm working on a review for it and a couple of other Arms Day like gunsmith weapons. It sucks.
All right, there's the full
suck.
review.
There's the
Full review.
Video's 2 seconds long. It sucks.
It
End
sucks.
of line.
Suros
And then the
RE45
credits
sucks.
roll.
Kumakatake HC4 sucks. Down and Doubt sucks. That's 3 reviews in a few seconds, and you don't have to worry about using those. Just stick to your vendor palindrome and your filthy wormwood.
Filthy wood.
Wood.
Yeah, maybe just take those guns into PvE. But why don't we take things over to our guest, because we do have a special guest this week in lieu of Bones. We've got Mr. CammyCakes here. What is it that you do, man?
Are you saying in
already-
general or for the new PvP meta?
Everything.
Dude,
we want
both,
everything.
altogether.
All the dirt. Just dish out every last piece
Where
of
do you
dirt.
buy your clothes? What's your preferred
All right, I
toothpaste?
gotcha.
Everything.
So, long story short, I make videos sometimes PvP related and sometimes just for a laugh. And that translates to my Trials cards too. Like today I got a kill with Pocket Infinity just because I could. And
My man.
What did the person who that happened to, what did they even say? Like, look at their kill feed. Like,
I
what
don't
the
know.
fuck?
They didn't just leave like I thought they would. It took 9 shots of it before they dropped.
He was also wielding the Mythoclast for a good fair section of one card as well, and absolutely destroying people with it as well.
What?
Yeah.
You gotta understand, I don't use primaries anymore. I'm in the sword hilt. I just like go third person and toss grenades at people.
It's got some
That's
incredibly interesting
best.
game plans and stuff like that, man. If you're on Xbox and you can try and grab a card with Cam, do it, man. It's an experience. That's all I can say.
I feel like that would just make Fallout's head explode to be like, well, you're not using the best guns though. Those aren't the ones that are the best on paper.
Scared to be in the lobby with Fallout and Cool Guy. We'll talk each other's ears off for days.
Probably.
Well, it can happen. I encourage it to happen. But yeah, it was really, really interesting. You know, like fairly quick cards as well. We only had because we did a repeater last week. Cammy and Cool Guy and myself ran 2 cards. We only lost a couple of games, and it was mainly to folks with pretty bad internet, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like someone in between Japan and Australia on some remote island.
It was
They're literally in the
right
middle
out
of
there
the
in the
ocean.
Pacific Ocean. Yeah, like next to some Solomon Islands or something like that, man. It was
It's
crazy
Tom
stuff.
Hanks playing out on a raft with Winston.
Yes.
With
Winston.
Wilson.
On the mobile hotspot.
He's got his trials card done with Wilson. Wilson.
What did I say?
Yeah, you said Winston.
I've been playing
Everybody's
Overwatch. I've been
favorite
playing Overwatch all
off-brand
day.
version
I'm
of
sorry. He's
volleyball.
literally playing.
Winston.
It's Tom Hanks and a scientist gorilla playing together on the raft in the ocean.
That was the flawless squad right there.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
man.
I need more sleep. I'm telling you right now.
We all do.
Apparently.
Yeah.
We're talking about trials here. You guys play trials more than I do. I haven't played trials for like a month and a half now. But with the new, I guess we'll call it the new current ongoing primary meta, have you guys noticed any changes?
Primary meta. What primaries?
What's that?
My lord. You know, I have a calendar hanging on my wall, and it is counting down the days until the community complains too much and overboils about No Land Beyond and sidearms being used too much. It's
Already
like,
happened.
if
Yeah,
there
have we
was
not hit that
only
point?
some way that we could counter these No Land Beyonders, it's like, yeah, that's why we had shotguns. Like, you take the shotguns away. It's like, what's that old expression? I don't even know what the hell I'm talking in. It's like, when the cat's away, the mice will play or whatever right now. And the mice are everywhere right now. Every single card I go into this weekend, I did
So what
fine,
Fallout
but
is
it's just like,
saying
No Land
is
Beyond everywhere.
anyone who
Absolutely
uses
everywhere.
NLB is a rat in Fallout size. You're a dirty vermin.
No,
That's what he said.
That's the
really love-
accusation.
Really
Yeah.
love No Land Beyond. But I'm just saying, it's like one little tweak to the game, and all of a sudden, so many changes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like overnight, we went
Yeah.
from shotguns everywhere to sidearms and especially No Land Beyond. I just think that we're so close to a really amazing PvP meta, but like we
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
can't.
And
you know,
that's
it's
what
like a
makes
teeter
it so
totter.
irritating. We're so
It is.
close.
I know.
So close.
Like before February, the teeter totter was like this,
Yeah.
and it was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like it's like an asymptote in math. Like you're just always approaching it, and we get closer and closer constantly, but it'll just never be right. It's always going to be frustratingly off.
And the annoying thing is, by the time they get this perfect equilibrium, Destiny 1's gone, and we've got a whole new
Yep.
game to play, and the whole thing starts all over again.
yeah,
Cycle
you know?
continues. It's beautiful.
But it just kind of frustrates me that there's no reason to use any other special in trials other than a sidearm or
Pocket Infinity.
maybe an icebreaker
Pocket Infinity. Or that.
or Pocket Infinity.
That's a great choice.
It's like if you go in with a fusion or a shotgun or any sniper not named icebreaker, No Land Beyond, you're just like sitting around with your thumb up your butt for like a
It
minute.
depends on the team you play. Some are aggressive
Yeah.
because they know you don't have anything to punish their sidearms.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they
this
know
is
that
why
you're
we
not
get-
prepared.
3 defenders and replenish shotguns and just pop a super every round. No.
That's
love it,
definitely
man.
been a thing that's going on.
And it,
It's crazy to me that just everybody seems to adapt so instantly to a new meta. Like everyone's in
think
tune
yeah.
with this game for some reason. You would think there'd be like half the people would just be like, oh, there was a patch. Like that would be me for most games, but I didn't even know they changed anything. And then, oh wow, why does this gun suck lately?
That that might be our fault.
Yeah, for sure. If you see
Oh,
injured
God.
ninjas running around,
It's a-
that's all me.
This
My bad.
moment.
I'm like,
This
shotguns? Me? Excuse me? I have been using sidearms forever. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
Fallout was singing the praises
Singing
of
the
sidearms just weeks ago. Go back and watch an old podcast. He'll tell you shotguns were for scrubs, and nobody used them.
Yeah.
It was all about that Iron Wreath meta. All the time, 24/7.
Iron Wreath all day.
If you want to see his channel, you can go to youtube.com/MikeNeff2006. That's fun.
Classic.
That's all right. I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. After the patch went into effect, it was like an instantaneous switch to everybody using Wormwood. And of course, we have a little bit of something to do with that. There were no shortage of videos going up saying, hey, you want a good sidearm? Head to Future Warcult. There's literally a perfect sidearm you can buy right now called the Wormwood. But you're absolutely right when you talk about it like a teeter, a seesaw, and on a constant teeter-totter. You take away the shotguns, suddenly, and not just taking away the shotguns, but you change the ammo economy in such an extreme way. Losing all of your special ammo after death is extreme. That's a huge change. And there was really no other outcome, in my opinion. I mean, I think we even said as much before the patch went into effect. We expected there would be heavy sidearm use because, of course, it's a special weapon that's got a pretty fast time to kill and retains ammo after death. You can even go around picking up special ammo off the ground and keeping that in your reserves moving forward. So, of course, this sort of thing was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it's kind of created a crazy environment in Crucible right now. I'm a little sick of getting scrailed by wormwoods and
Railed?
teacup tempests. Yes.
What kind of scat slang was that? What the fuck?
Look,
I
man,
like that word. That's
That
a
means
good word.
screwed railed.
that's
Okay.
right.
Railed.
When you get scrailed,
I can
are
read
just
you like a
getting
book, buddy.
completely railed.
There you
Oh
go.
man, I got you.
My man.
And so what do you guys think Bungie could really do to sort of alleviate this?
Nerf fusions.
Yes,
Nerf blade.
I like
I
where this
think
man is. Get him a
Everything could
job.
be cleared up if they were to just take Blink and maybe nerf it one more time.
One more.
No, I mean, like,
Perhaps just
okay.
one.
So what was the problem before? The problem before was that the shotguns were very strong and there was very little reason, especially in like 3s and 4s, to use anything other shotgun because you can just roll up on people. Primaries weren't strong enough or reliable enough, maybe I should say.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they took care of that because now primaries are very reliable. Hand cannons feel great.
Yep.
And shotguns have been hit pretty hard. I mean, with the mid-air accuracy reduction and the pellet precision damage taken away, that really hurts the shotgun. And it's like you had already kicked them in the groin, and now it's like when they're down on the ground, knife in the back with the special ammo change.
Take
You know what I
them
mean?
while they're
It didn't need all of that at the same time. I feel like if there was just a minor tweak to how the ammo worked,
Slowly
maybe when
but
you die,
surely. Not one big
Yeah.
step. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly, maybe like reduce 50 to 75% of your ammo. Because like Bones said on the show last week, it's not fun to like walk up to a special box and pick it up and spend all the time reloading, and then you just go into an engagement and you die.
You got final round on your shotgun.
Then it is fun.
Then it is fun.
But for those of us who aren't psychotic lunatics, it's just not fun to like, you have to wait around and like, oh yeah, I finally get my ammo. And then you go into an engagement and you die. Not necessarily because you make a mistake. I mean, Destiny's very fast paced with a lot of crazy movement. You got Titans skating around, Warlock surfing, and you can just get picked off, not by any real fault of your own. And you're like, damn it, dude, I just lost all of my freaking ammo. Like, what the hell? It's just like, it's pretty frustrating.
You can't just hang out, chill, and play Crucible. You got to think about it. If I mess up, I lose all my special ammo and have to waste 30 seconds.
And it puts you
So
on
Which makes
Forces
me
sweat
it
mode.
makes me lose my ammo more because I'm so worried about if I fuck this up, I'm gonna lose it, and
Meg
then
is
I
in the
screw
corner
up
like,
because I'm so in my head.
Don't you
I
think
got
that's
ammo.
what special
pressure.
weapons should feel like, though? That they should have that high risk, high reward kind of thing. Because I honestly thought with the special ammo changes that now special weapons are a little bit more in the bracket of being special. The only
I kind
thing
of agree with
that's
you, Storm.
piddled all over that is the sidearm issue because they retain ammo on death and they hold so much ammo. It's like they had a really good movement pushing forwards with that change, but then completely negated it with a weapon type that they're clinging to this, the origins. Oh, the sidearms have to keep their ammo on deck because that's how we originally decided it should be.
Design them.
I mean, I'm not taking the piss out of that idea, but I just think that's really what's messing with that change right now, and it's kind of odd to me that they didn't foresee that happening and thinking, oh, this could be a bad idea, because it's a great change, but it is really like a spanner in the spokes. The sidearms are,
We're walking a very fine line because, like, I agree with you. I want special weapons to actually feel special.
Yeah,
because that's the way it should be. I want the majority of our fights in the game to be primary based. I don't want to have to go in, even though it was really fun. I've had like many games where I've just gone in and I've just used nothing but my special and gone like +2, +3, because what the hell's a primary? But I want primaries to be good. I want specials to be special, but I don't want to feel like we're being tremendously punished. I feel like 98% of all gunfights right now are primary based, which might be a little too high. And if you're using a special weapon, you're probably using a Wormwood or a Jabberhocky or an Iron Wreath. It's like,
I don't know. Most of the kills, I played some 6s yesterday morning, and I can't say that I really enjoyed it because there was, even in Mayhem Clash, this was nuts for Mayhem Clash. Like I played Mayhem Clash for about 3 hours, and the kill feed was literally number 1, sidearms, like obviously a Wormwood. Number 2, grenades. And then you might get the occasional super. It's like in Mayhem Clash.
In Mayhem.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
That was 3 hours on Xbox in a really condensed environment where the player base is a lot smaller and the skill gap is much, well, not higher, but like because it's condensed, you're playing some really good players. And it's like, because the sidearm is such a fast time to kill, like it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, 6s is really heavily dominated by sidearms and grenades, and it's not just stickies. There's like a resurgence of sticky grenades at the moment, which personally I haven't really got a problem with. I'm just kind of gobsmacked of why a fusion grenade is the best sticky grenade.
Primary.
It's like, well, best primary.
Best primary.
But like, why is that the best one? But yeah, I don't know. I think the sidearm issue is a pretty big issue. I don't think sidearms are overpowered in the slightest. But
it's just that there's no reason to use, especially in trials. There's like almost
in trials, they have
no
revive
reason.
shields. You need something to burn that down, whether it's a fusion grenade or a Wormwood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think just the foundation of the whole problem to me is just that, like, I like the concept of primaries being the main thing and special hardly getting used.
Somebody screen cap that. You'll understand later, Mega. Somebody screen cap it, please. Please.
Okay.
Doesn't mean.
All right.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
I'll just go with it.
Continue your thought.
I like the concept of it all, but it's that it's applied to everything equally that is the problem when certain game types play differently. I like the concept for some things, but it doesn't necessarily work for trials and for like sweats and stuff for tournaments. I wish that custom games had more customization options for it, so you could sort of tweak the rules how you wanted to set them up.
Right there with you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's a thing. But they are really kind of very focused on trying to make it general for everything, and I really think that it would be an idea to lose that. I don't think that it has. What are the advantages of trying to keep everything exactly the same, other than like the feel of the weaponry and the arsenal and the subclass abilities? Is that really going to massively change too much? Are you going to feel that it's not Destiny by having separate rules that are a bit more geared to the game types? A multiplayer / player versus environment. Is it really going to be that negative if there were separate attributes for both areas?
No, I don't think that'll hurt it at all. I think that's a step forward. However, I do think we should reduce the amounts of playlist at the moment just because of our population size. It's really hard to find a game sometimes.
Yeah, there's massive playlist bloat right now. Because we have, how many are there? 12? Let's see.
It's in the teens. Yeah, it is in the teens.
Yeah, there's a lot of playlists for the population. This is almost a 3-year-old game, so of course the population has suffered a bit from that, and we probably don't need all of those playlists available every single week when a lot of people don't really play too much of them. But it's certainly a very difficult issue, special wise, for Bungie to balance. Thankfully, it does seem like they're listening and
Yes.
they're looking to make some very quick adjustments to it, because we got a Bungie weekly update and they talk
Hey.
directly about these issues in that weekly update. And you guys want to go through some of that?
Oh,
I would
please.
love to go
Why
through
not?
that.
I've been looking
Well,
forward to it.
excellent. This is what I do. Well, first off, we got to hear a bit more from Josh Hamrick over there at Bungie, senior designer. And I just wanted to say this is really good. We're hearing more from Bungie employees post-hotfix about some of the future balance changes they want to make. This is the exact sort of thing I want to see from Bungie moving forward, being a little bit more transparent about what they're testing in the background, the issues that the community has that they're hopefully addressing right now, and that's certainly what they do in the This Week at Bungie blog. All right, so we're going to go in here. Josh talked a bit about some of the current concerns and what they're working on. Number 1, sidearms. In a not entirely shocking development, the sidearm meta has grown strong. With its innate ability, surprise!
No.
With its innate ability to not only keep ammo through death, but to also actually store it away. Scrooge McDuck style, by the way. I like the DuckTales reference. It's the ultimate gift for anyone who's always running out. For now. We're currently working on a change that would allow sidearms to continue to spawn with a small set of ammo post-death, but keep them from stacking anything extra. They'll be handy if you run into resistance on your way to the ammo crate, but to keep your sidearm usage high, you'll need to stock up more often. So basically, it sounds like one of the biggest complaints about sidearms right now, which is that they can go around, pick up ammo, and they retain that extra ammo after death. Probably not going to be a thing too much longer. What do you guys think?
I hope they scale it to the archetypes of sidearms, so Anton's rule is still spammable.
That's a good
Why
point,
not,
actually.
right?
That's a good point. But for this change, I think they've addressed an issue, but I don't know if this is the complete solution. It's definitely not a bad solution. It's a step in the right direction, but it's not going to change a whole lot. If I go into trials after they change this, I'm still not going to use a shotgun or fusion rifle or a sniper other than No Land Beyond or Icebreaker because, again, no ammo. So I'm still going to bring my Wormwood. I'm just going to use it maybe 25% less, depending on my situation in the game. Like, if you look at the Guardian.gg or the Trials Report or whatever the hell website you look at, to look at the numbers after a weekend of trials, after whenever this patch goes live, the weapon statistics prediction right now are going to remain very, very much the same. There's going to be Wormwood up there, Trespasser, No Land Beyond, Icebreaker in terms of sidearm sniper, and so
Luna Pally.
Luna Pally.
Yeah.
And it's a step in the right direction for sure. But I don't think we're there yet, but we'll see what happens.
I'm looking at Trials Report right now. Sidearm usage is 57.55%.
Oh, good lord.
And of that, 18.84% is the Wormwood.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
yeah.
Very high
lot of
numbers
elite.
there.
Yes.
I mean, I'm hoping. I mean, they did say this is the thing that excited me a lot. And I think we should probably take off our hats for a moment and have a moment of appreciation for Josh Hamrick for actually appearing again so soon in this week at Bungie and being making this massive effort to be a lot more transparent. It's a great direction for the dev team to be going in, because one of the heavy criticisms that we have, we all pretty much share, is that these updates are few and far between. And I saw a very interesting post on Reddit the other day that was written very eloquently by a concerned fan of the game, saying that no wonder there's so much uproar from the player base when we have patches that change things so radically. It would be better if they could to have smaller patches spread throughout the year. And of course, he wasn't meaning every 5 minutes, or every week or every month, but something a little bit more common. And of course, the communication that goes along with that, like, guys, we're planning on changing this and we hear you about that. And this is an issue here and blah, blah, blah. So this is great. Yeah. And why? Exactly.
And why,
So this is a great direction.
Up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Josh.
That's why.
We really appreciate.
That's why I'm in theory a fan of the fact that they didn't necessarily completely remedy sidearms, or we predict that it doesn't completely remedy it, because they did a small change instead of hugely reacting like 2
Okay,
months
good
from
point.
now. I like that if they're gonna be more, if they're gonna be
sidearms from the game completely.
Sidearms now have the
if they're,
touch of
if they're
malice
gonna
perk.
be more communicative and they're gonna make changes a little more frequently, or it seems like they're at least talking to us about making changes a little more frequently. I like the idea of them being smaller
There
things
you go.
to see how it works out first.
Yeah.
Well put, Mega. Well put.
Yeah, and like the fact that this new update here, the situation on sidearms at the moment is there's recognition and an acknowledgement that there's a problem, but this could also change. It could be that by the time a patch materializes, that we do actually have sidearms brought in line with things a hell of a lot more than what's been discussed so far on this week at Bungie. Because already, like, the conversation is reducing the ammo by a little bit really going to solve the problem? And I think the direct answer to that is no. It's not going to solve it. You really do need to bring sidearms in line with all the other specials for there to be, you know, more of an equilibrium between the lot. And it will bring back special diversity as well. It's still going to suck that you're going to have the ammo problem, but I think that's a good move for the game. Like, I'm going to have to go to this crate and get my special after my death, you know, especially for 6v6 and well, all the game modes really. I think it's a good move. And if we at the moment, if sidearms lost all of their ammo on death, I think they still have a place. They still have a rapid time to kill. They're still great for in-air, you know, the verticality. They're great for backpedaling. They still have a place, but special diversity would definitely return.
I think they need to work on some perks with weapons, like the Exhume perk on a lot of special weapons. Reviving grants like reload or handling speed or something of that nature.
Yeah.
No, just give them 1 bullet on revive.
Not bad. Not a bad idea.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd take that.
For sure.
We're all like crack addicts right now. I'd take 1 bullet. Yeah, that sounds good.
Got any of those?
Come on, man. Y'all got any more of them bullets, man?
Got a green, man. How much for that green?
Yeah, I need it.
Well,
moving
TB.
on here.
Yeah, what else we got?
Next up, another, small bit of contention in the community over the past 6 or 7 months. The memory of Scory. They're finally going
What's
to
that?
be addressing that
What?
in a very interesting
Story?
way. Yeah, what's that? Scories, what's that?
Story? What?
It's all about Radagast and trials.
Yeah.
You would be surprised.
Oh, no. I don't know if I want to hear that story. So this is what Josh says. This artifact has led to some of the greatest dance parties I've ever attended in Destiny. Totally relevant. That being said, aside from encouraging these sort of team building events, the artifact itself tends to inspire a more lackadaisical approach to gameplay. Instead of continuing to encourage you to hurry up and wait on a super, we're looking at modifying Scories to motivate some activity. The change currently in testing requires a kill to jumpstart Scory's unique ability for the next minute. Once it times out, you'll need another kill to jumpstart it again. We believe you won't have any problems killing one enemy every 60 seconds for maximum uptime in PvE, but Trials may offer a greater challenge. Big. That's what I would say. Big change.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
Do we think
My
it's going to
first
be
reaction
enough?
was props
Yes,
to
It'll
Josh
definitely be enough.
for using the word lackadaisical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
in a sense.
phrased it as eloquently as a person could. Like, he really did a good job.
More
No,
like
that's a good change. I'm really glad that. I mean, again, I'm not trying to say that like Bungie doesn't listen to the community because we know
No, they
that
do.
listen
They,
to the
no,
community.
they clearly
But like,
don't.
it's just great that like they're finally like, yeah, we admit it's
Yeah.
a thing that we should be
It's a
looking
problem.
into. We're gonna tweak it for you guys, which is great. And I've said many times on this show, when I do trials runs to help virgins go to the lighthouse, I use the memory of Scory with absolutely no regret because I'm trying to use the best options I can.
For a man who has
people
no regrets, he has
Don't
to justify
apologize.
himself a lot.
Dude,
about
I'm just
this.
saying. But I need to open with that
Yeah.
to lead to this because I use it, but at the same time, I don't want to use it. You
Yeah.
understand? Like, I don't want
Yeah.
to. I don't want there to be one artifact, which is like the golden standard. Like, if you don't pick this, you're just fucking up. Like, why would you not?
No, I see.
You know what I
You
mean?
extend
Like,
the game because it's going to better your chances to win. We understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
But
You're absolutely right, though. What other artifact gives you
right?
as big of a benefit as Scories?
Nothing.
What?
I mean, Yolder helps
Timur?
with the sprint.
Timur, I
cooldown,
can
but
get
even-
captains on my side in trials, obviously.
There you go.
if I
That's a
melee
good
them,
call.
You know?
Even with
I'll
Yolder,
explain the
trials.
Radagast in like 30 seconds. It's real quick. So
I
you know how
would
the Warlock
love to
can
get to
sword
it.
skate? And
Yeah.
Radagast gives you more sword ammo, right? So what you do is you suicide bomb with the Sunsinger. You just run for the heavy. Hold the pickup and hold the block button at the same time. Now you pick up the heavy, you're blocking with the sword, everyone's shooting at you. They're eventually going to have to reload.
Oh.
When you see the first person reload, you sword skate back into cover because there's no way they can keep up with that. And then if you're smart and have a bolt caster, you can just start throwing it at them. And if you happen to die, then you self-res and hold the pickup and do the same thing over again.
I've watched him do this, and he's done this against
hilarious.
stacked teams, and successfully
Really
pulled
funny.
it off many times. I mean, of course, it's going to take some practice, isn't it, Cam? But like
Yeah, for sure.
that kind of technique, and
that reminds me. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no,
Sorry,
go
you
go
finish
for it,
off.
go for it, man.
I was just gonna say that's such a crazy, amazing plan. It like reminds me of when I play Pokemon and I plan to sweep entire teams with like a baton passing Eevee or some crap like
Oh
that.
God, tail glow.
It's just like,
Might as well be called
scumbags.
baton pass.
yeah, pretty much. That's awesome that you
and-
found a good use for it though.
That's the artifact that reflects projectiles, right?
Right.
Yes.
Correct.
I've
Yeah.
seen.
Use it
I
for
have
the more
seen
sword
the
ammo,
Fun
so you can
Police.
take
Fun
damage.
Police
Yeah.
loves that.
I've seen
artifact
him use
very
it to
much.
bounce back. I can't remember who he was playing. It was somebody
doesn't matter.
really good. But it was like somebody really good, and like they came up to him, and they just so didn't expect that somebody would be using Radagast that he just stood there
Didn't
blocking,
expect.
staring at him, and then it just boom, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
But not
But
to
of
derail
course-
the conversation. I just felt
Yeah.
like
of
everything
course,
has a
I'm-
use.
I'm so glad that you're
Accepted.
here,
I'll take
Cammy.
that. It's beautiful. I
To
want to see
jump in
that.
with your wonderful asides. Truly.
So with the with the Scory change back
Yes.
to it.
to
So let's.
it.
I like to think of Scory Campus. I feel like there's like two separate realms of it. There's the people who just don't ever push you at all ever. They stay in the back and they camp Scories and they get their supers. And then there's the people who maybe get a pick and then they don't get aggressive afterward because they know they have the advantage and they can camp Scory. I feel like this change will eliminate the first one, but the second one will still be, you can still do that pretty easily, especially since trials rounds are only a minute and a half now. If it takes 30 seconds to get the
That
first
was a
kill,
great change, by the way.
Yeah,
It was.
you
Minute and a
got the
half.
thing for the whole
Absolutely.
time. So,
Yeah, forcing
so I'm
a little
I
bit
like
more
again.
action.
It's a little. It's a small change, like the sidearm one. They made a small thing instead of getting too crazy
Yeah.
with it. And
15-second
fan of
trials
this.
round. No.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Do it.
But you know what?
Jesus,
That's-
that'd be amazing. That'd be Fallout
That's-
Stream. I feel like if everyone had to rush and fight immediately.
Get in immediately.
I had an epiphany.
10-second rounds.
Give it like 2 months from now, and people are going to be waving special ammo.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Force the primary. But that's the thing that I was thinking about with the Scories change. So you get a kill. It's active for a full minute. Trials is a minute and a half now. It's a good change because it's going to force, the person with Scories on that team to actually go into action and have to get a kill. Do you guys think a minute is too long for the effect to be live?
They could tweak it. I mean, something cool would be to make it so you have to dance to get the effect, but then I feel like that might lead to
Oh my
camping again.
God.
Yeah.
I'm already
Maybe.
dancing all the time anyway, baby. That's perfect for me.
Yeah, maybe they do need to make it a little shorter. I don't know, but
I-
it would certainly help against teams with multiple guardians running stories. You know what I mean? Like I was doing trials today with KJ Hovey, super fun, and we came up against a team, 2 Defender Titans and a Stormcaller, and they are all running Scory, and I just wanted to kill myself. It was just like so
Yeah,
horrific.
what do you even do?
We
don't.
beat them by the skin of our teeth, but like it's just it's crazy. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. They can just do
think
whatever
the
they want. They
kill
can run
to,
off.
The kill to make a minute charge of Scory is fair because it's very hard to farm revives now without shotguns and snipers readily
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I had a
yeah,
lot of situations where even when I had shotgun ammo, I'd slide up at someone and shotgun melee, and then they'd just double melee because of extended invincibility and lag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll
Overall,
see
it's
how
gonna
that.
be an interesting change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I can't imagine a lot of people would be upset about this, and we're still not at that point yet where we can perfectly balance both PvP and PvE, which I know is something a lot of the community cares very deeply about. But I think that even though we haven't reached that point yet, this is a good change because I can't imagine too much that this would change or like quote ruin PvE. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's only the only downside is if you want to like camp with Scory before starting a raid engagement. Now you
Yeah.
can't do that to get
I mean,
your
but
super.
like
You have to
if
wait a
you're-
little bit longer.
but like
That's
if you're on the
it.
bridge, maybe just do like one extra round. It's like, okay, do we want it? We don't have super yet. Okay, just activate the machine,
don't wanna
activate the
break the
Zamboni, and
meta.
we'll shoot all the.
Is
Please,
shooting
I would love
swarm
it if you would
is,
break
is
the meta.
shooting swarm or skip grenades going to activate scories? Because they do count as
They
kills for some random
confirmed-
weapons.
They confirmed
Yeah.
on Twitter
Oh.
that it doesn't.
You
work
won't
that
do
way.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, Josh,
They need
to
Josh
look
had
at
that
that
right
year
there,
one,
I was
actually,
right
yeah.
there with you, dude. I was literally like, how can I cheese this?
Little nightmare.
Yeah.
You brought back the
No, no.
ashes to assets nightmare from year one, where as a gunslinger you could just start a match, throw a grenade at a box, and boom, you've got your super.
Yeah.
And thank goodness.
The only time swarms were used.
Yeah, that was bad times.
Yeah.
But yeah, good change to scores. You
change.
guys ready to move on?
Good
Thumbs up.
change.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
We'll see where it goes.
Moving on, buddy.
All right, next up, the truth, a sore point with me. Josh states, while I think true strength is its unique ability to find its target, clearly having more rockets is always better, and losing a loaded rocket is, understandably, a heavy loss to many players. To make this a little bit easier to deal with, we're looking into adding one additional rocket into your backpack and bumping truth to the max rocket launcher reload speed. So it's still going to have one in the magazine, or rather one in the clip. It's going to have one extra rocket in reserve, and it's going to be able to reload faster.
I think
It still hurts to not have 3 rockets in it.
Yeah.
You know, you're
I
going-
think the nerf to truth is a perfect example of changing things based on usage amount. Because, like, the reason why truth was the most used rocket launcher, in my opinion, is because we've got hand cannons that are better in the legendary form than exotic
Palindrome,
form.
Ias Luna.
Yeah, and like going back to the previous meta where a Matador was pretty much the thing that was equipped in the legendary slot. What's left? You know, it's got the G-Horn or Truth, and then the tracking on Truth is pretty damn good. You get 3 in the mag. That's why it was used. I don't necessarily think that it was an overpowered exotic that needed.
No, I never heard anybody be like, "Oh, fucking truth, this guy." Like nobody
Yeah.
was
You'd be like,
annoyed
"Holy
with
Truth
it.
hell,
farming
that-
me right
yeah.
now.
The tracking on Truth
Combined
is
arms,
really...
maybe, but no one even
Yeah.
plays that. So
Is that
So-
a game type still? What? What? Combined arms.
Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
you know, I think you've got a real point there, because there weren't really many other exotic offerings to give a lot of competition to it. You know, you've got your Ias Luna, you've got your Palindrome. Those are better primaries than pretty much everything else in the game. And then for your secondary, you know, unless you're a hipster like Mega with the Chaperone. Me too, I love the Chaperone.
Yeah.
But you had a Matador 64, so when it comes to your heavy, you know, you can rock a legendary rocket launcher if it's got grenades and horseshoes, but why not? Or why when you've got truth?
Yeah, man.
yeah, I feel like the statistics they got on that were false. People just used truth
Yeah.
because they could, not because they
Right.
wanted to.
Yeah.
You guys are overlooking
There's
the
no
most
other exotic
important
taking that
reason
slot.
to use truth. It matches the Midas shader perfectly if you get
Yeah.
the Heart of Gold. I mean,
Very
come
true.
on.
That's true.
I feel like
That's
the
the
nerf
only
to
reason
truth
I use
was a pocket buff to the Taikonaut helmet. Just get tripod, grenades, and horseshoes, and now you have a truth.
There's a helmet that only a few people remember. Oh,
Mhm.
gosh, I wish that thing were good.
It's got great aesthetics if you're filming and you want to get a nice astronaut-looking guy. That's the only reason
I've tried to make it work with Dragon's
call it
Breath,
Megan.
but it's horrendous. It doesn't really do
Same
much.
here, man.
Oh my God,
I'm
Dragon's
right there
Breath.
with you, brother. I tried it. I tried to make that thing good with Dragon's Breath. It's sad. It's like the Astrocyte verse. But yeah, you know, and I absolutely agree when you say that this is a change that came about probably because they saw usage numbers for the truth, and the usage numbers are artificially high because there's just no other exotic that, you know, most high-end players were really using because they had better, you know, primaries and secondary options.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of sucks.
So it's nice that they're kind of tweaking it back, but again, I think it was another one of those rather unnecessary changes that they could have avoided spending the time and resources on had they have actually known why the usage was, you know, I mean, I agree. Yeah. Looking at the spreadsheets or whatever, the information in front of them, like, wow, everyone's using this. Maybe we need to sort this
Yeah.
out. And it's like, a little investigation as to why they were using it would probably have saved you a lot of time there.
This is such a completely not true circle jerky joke that I'm about to throw out there, but it just like amuses me that like there's like a tiny part that thinks for 2 seconds that Bungie does all of their weapon testing in like Mayhem combined arms or something like that. They're like, well, Truth is too powerful. Like, Greg's
Truth
got
took out
30
that
kills with it.
interceptor
We
in one
gotta
shot.
Mayhem.
That's
The
obviously
Golden Gun
no,
Simulator.
it's-
Yeah,
it's
explains
a
everything.
complete joke.
Yeah.
They look at more than that, but it just made me giggle thinking that that's how they tested those weapons.
Beautiful.
Well, it's certainly
Carry
not
on,
helped
Link.
by the fact that they pull out the usage chart every so often with their
chart?
their Crucible sandbox updates and say, too many people are using this, so we're going to take it and put it down here. No, don't do that. Just make other things better, like the grenades and horseshoes thing.
I think we should
not
make
that
a
grenades and horseshoes is
a
amazing,
rule in
it's
sweats.
better.
Everyone has to wear the Astrocyte verse, so they see high usage of it, and then they just unnecessarily nerf it. Just to
What would
confirm.
they do?
What could they
would do to
possibly
Astrocyte
do?
verse?
Wouldn't it be funny if we did this like elaborate community prank where like everybody use like just pick a random gun? Like I can't think of anything.
Super good advice.
Kabostov with pulse.
Everybody use super good advice for like 2 weeks. Just everybody use it. Like
Shoot the usage numbers.
use it. And then Bungie's like, what the hell is going on right now?
Nerf it.
Well, based on that
Bring it back to
premise,
you.
the wormwood, the wormwood, the nerf wood is going to be
the nerf wood?
wormed. Yeah.
Fully wormed.
Get wormed.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be wormed. What we got next
be
on the old list of the TWAB?
All right, next up is the No Land Beyond. Oh, lordy, lordy. Much like the recent rise of sidearms, No Land Beyond is showing up more and more. Big surprise there. Ultimately, we would never want to destroy No Land Beyond's exoticness, meaning we would never move it away from the primary slot or change it from being a sniper. On the contrary, we found a potential workaround for making No Land Beyond flinch like the sniper rifle it is. This one will require a good amount of testing, but we think it's a good change. Keep your shooting clean and you'll still pop heads like nothing's ever changed, but falling behind in a head-to-head primary fight will likely be a death sentence. So, the golden age of no flinch, no land,
Yeah.
finally coming to an end.
The only thing about that confuses me is why do they have to call it like a workaround to make it flinch like other snipers? Isn't that just like how you make the fucking gun? I don't understand.
But
Like
it's
you just
sniper.
I don't know.
what's the
I
worker
mean,
like they don't
I
have
don't wanna
access
be-
to the source and they have to change it in a special secret way or something. Somebody forgot the password to change the shit on it.
Equipped and unequipped No Land Beyond, you can clearly see that the model is a sniper rifle. It has like an invisible scope.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if that's
Good
any
point.
clue.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that member of the community, but I guess it's because they might break all primaries if they.
maybe.
That's
I
what
mean,
the plan
again,
is.
it
Yeah,
goes
that's
back to
what
like
they have in
sniper
program.
primary slot. Yeah.
It's like
It's-
add flinch to it.
Or
Flinch is
it'll be-
added to every
Or
primary.
it'll be like the opposite. It'll be they'll add flinch to the no land and it will double the flinch on all other snipers.
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
they'll just completely
I'll gladly
fuck them.
laugh along because it's funny when you read it that way. You're like, well, why
Yeah.
can't it's like, what is the problem going
Yeah.
on here?
Like,
I
Like,
it's
just
just
like
got
his
history,
wording.
man.
A workaround makes it
Yeah.
sound like he doesn't actually work there.
but
Like
to be
he found
fair-
a cheat code.
yeah. At the same time, we're not game developers. We have no
No,
idea how the
not even
magic
close.
inner coding works. If they wanted me to code
Yeah.
it, I would literally ruin the entire game.
Bork
I would
the
be like
game.
the exact opposite of Neo. I would just ruin everything in the Matrix, and it would all go to shit in like a minute. But so, what do we
I
think
want
of
to live
that
in
change?
that world.
Good change?
Well,
Bad change?
Do you recall
Probably
a
good.
rather devilishly handsome chap on the podcast last week mentioning this exact thing about the
Yes.
no flinch beyond?
Mhm.
So they're saying they get their balance ideas from story. Is what I'm
No, because
understanding.
my point was that it's like it's breaking the, I don't want to say rules, but like it's a sniper rifle, but it doesn't follow the same like
Yeah.
parameters of a sniper rifle, which pointed into it being an error or a bug or something had been forgotten to be doing. You know, like it sniper. They put flinch on sniper rifles for a reason,
For a
in
reason,
an effort.
Yeah.
For balance, whether it did anything positive or negative is irrelevant to this topic at the moment because they did it for a reason. However, that was outside the confines of that reason, and it's a sniper rifle, so that's like, you know, there's the
No, I
other,
understand.
you know, like I think it's an error or a bug or it was something that got forgotten, and fixing it. It's not nerfing it; it's fixing it. So I think even with no land flinching like other sniper rifles users when you shoot at them, I still think it's going to be as strong as it is now. However, there was a lot of discussion on Twitter, even though I personally didn't see anything in this week at Bungie that related to fixing the reload, you know, the cancel glitch thing. I didn't see anything
I
that.
don't think they'll do it.
No, but there was a huge conversation that people
kind of
were thinking,
assuming
that was going to get. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm literally assuming
that's probably that's something that trying to fix that would probably break a bunch of other
maybe
shit because that seems like
I'm
not
not
okay
sure
with that
stuff.
because I don't know.
You can
I like-
sprint
Part of the
cancel
style with
weapons.
I like it is
Yeah.
part of the style. I like button glitches. I'm a Smash Bros player. I like wave dashing. I was a Halo player. Love to be XRing and double shooting. I don't know. It's just it's cool to me. But I do like that they're fixing No Land Beyond, even though part of me is sad because I do love the gun. But it's like you're right, Story. I mean, snipers are supposed to flinch, and it's just kind of bringing them in line. I feel like No Land Beyond is supposed to be like a really big, like high risk, high reward primary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can use it with special weapons at the same time, and you can get that amazing cross-map one-shot kill with your primary, which is like insane.
Yep.
But you lose the ability to team shot, which is really important in a primary strong meta.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you shouldn't feel like you can go in with No Land Beyond and be like a king and just lay waste to everybody, even like, oh, flinching me? Yeah, screw you, peasant. Boom,
Yes.
dead. But like, yeah, it's a little bit sad, but I do think it's a good change.
Before the most recent update, I was one of those people who was kind of the mind that since No Land behaves so differently from other snipers in so many other ways, and in a lot of ways that made it worse, that I didn't have a huge problem with like the flinch glitch or whatever you want to call it. But now that it behaves so differently and it's basically like the best sniper because of the nerfs to special ammo, like I'm more okay. Like I'm okay
Such a
with
weird
changing it
statement.
now. Yeah. I mean, it's
No
like the
Land
only
Beyond is the best
sniper.
sniper in the game.
It's Icebreaker or No Land. Those are the two best snipers in the game right now, basically.
Considering it was
so.
like the worst gun in the entire world when it
Yeah.
first was released. What do you
At one
reckon,
point in
Cam,
time, yeah.
about the whole No Land
I
situation?
feel like when you take the circumstances into account, the special ammo economy, it makes sense. But I also feel like they could get back to the community by straight up removing Mulligan.
See, I think Mulligan is like, okay, so if you don't know what he's talking about, like the reload glitch that you're talking about, Story, Mulligan screws with that. And if you were to take Mulligan out, No Land would actually improve because you could consistently do the reload glitch every time instead of getting tripped up when occasionally you get the bullet back from the Mulligan perk. So I think actually I had a conversation about this earlier today, Cammy. It's funny that you bring that up, but maybe Bungie knew about the reload glitch and they couldn't do anything to fix it, so they purposefully put Mulligan on the
That makes a
gun
lot
as
of
like
sense.
a countermeasure to throw out. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, or it could just be a fucking
If
coincidence.
they
and I could
remove
be a
the
lunatic.
reload glitch, it's a huge buff to Night Stalker and Twilight Garrison because they have that delayed neutral thing in between the shots.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah, man, because there was...
Overall, not too surprising a change.
Yeah, the other thing that folks are talking about is if the reload cancel was not possible with No Land, it would definitely need some kind of buff to handling or like the reload or something like that. Because obviously I don't. It's a gun that rewards a good aim and the confidence in which to use it. It's a one-shot, very slow, cumbersome weapon as a primary, and you're losing the ability to team shot. So precision. I think rewarding that with a one-shot, a one-banger is good. You know, so like I wouldn't want to see it completely phased out. I just think that fixing the actual like bugs and issues with it is generally a good thing all round,
I guess for me, the No Land has so much character that it's one of my favorite guns to use. Like it's like the Chaperone in a way where it's just weird compared to all the other guns in the game that I really, really like it. So I get worried when they talk about changing things to it. I'm like, I like this gun. It's fun.
I feel
to
you.
use.
I feel you. I still think it'll be a sexy gun.
I think it's gonna be fine. Trust me, I'm such a shit shot. If you're shooting me and the gun is visibly flinching, I'm not getting a fucking shot on you anyway. So this isn't gonna change much for me. All right, I back out as soon as a bullet hits me. If someone sees me and I'm sniping, I'm a terrible sniper.
And that's just the thing, if you're pelting a No Land Beyond user with primary fire, they're not going to be able to just effortlessly blast at you without having any sort of flinch whatsoever.
Yeah.
Which, it's fair because every other sniper in the game behaves like that.
Yeah.
It's just logical. I mean, if someone's shooting you in the face, it's hard to shoot them back in real life. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
In an alternate universe with No Land Beyond, like we all understand it's an anti-tank gun, right? That's the design of it. Give it 1 bullet in the magazine and old armor-piercing rounds, and let us have fun for 1 weekend.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
You want to score his
If you're gonna do that,
camp?
you
I'm
might
going
as
to
well-
shoot you through the map.
Might as well make it a one-shot kill then to the body if we're gonna do that.
Damn
One in
right,
the
dude.
magazine. Beautiful.
Ooh.
That's No Land Beyond's ability is when you get one-shot kills with it, it increases what you're handling.
Your damage.
Yeah, it gives you
Damage?
So with weapons
boost.
light illuminated, you can body shot after a kill. It's very fun to do.
I always had the dream of changing that ability a little bit so that it could stack, and so that, say, if you got 1 headshot, then another headshot, then another headshot, and got 3 times the stack, you would be able to body shot from then on out until you died, or until, like, I don't know, a 10-second timer.
That sounds interesting.
That would be the most
Well,
amazing.
calm
No
down
Land
there,
Beyond.
Satan. Good lord.
Yeah.
The Judith
Everybody
already
in the
does that.
community turns against the Black Link overnight.
I'm the guy who loves Thorn. I'm the guy who says bring back year 1 Thorn. I'm used to it. Come at me, fam. I got you. Right on. So that's the change to No Land Beyond. Next up, finally, we have the changes that they're working around with behind the scenes with Blink, which has again been scrailed in the past couple of years. Totally scrailed. And they say, as you know, we've nerfed Blink a few times over the years. While we're happy with the latest changes, we believe that the stack of nerfs has grown a little bit too high. To counter this, it's a little bit too high. To counter this, we're looking into removing the old recovery nerf entirely. Additionally, we're looking at pulling back the time that you are HUDless by just a bit. This is actually a pretty big change.
Good.
It's funny, they say, oh, we're happy with where Blink is right now, but, maybe the stack of nerfs has gone too high. Let's remove the biggest nerf.
I can't
The biggest nerf to Blink.
help but giggle. I mean, it's a good change. I can't help but giggle that like we had to reach this point where I feel like
The circle.
it's like a Saturday Night Live sketch. We're like, really? You're nerfing Blink?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. And they're like,
Yeah.
maybe we went a bit overboard. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Just
So
yeah.
It's my
yeah, I do have to
opinion
giggle
that
about
there's-
it, but I'm
Secret.
more happy that we're listening. Community's listening to Bungie. Bungie's listening to the community. We're all listening to each other. Yay! Thumbs up. They're making a good change here. Good on you.
And it's worth
Bungie.
remembering that Blink
Good on you.
was a huge topic. House of Wolves days on forums. Blink is too strong. It
Yep.
dominated the competitive scene as well. I'm going to hold my hand up and say that I was voting for a nerf to Blink, and that was a bad move. If I could take that back and take my vote back, I would have left it in the game as it was
So many
intended.
Americans feel the same way as you, Story, right now.
Yeah.
But
I think
It was
this is
really
a
enjoyable.
great
Yeah, man.
opportunity for them to bring Astrocyte Verse to something usable.
Yes.
This is where
Yeah.
you do it. This is where you implement a change. Maybe remove the HUD entirely. Or you know what I mean? Like restore the HUD entirely.
Yes.
Rather than
Yeah.
lose it temporarily.
yeah, have something,
It's a
a
good call.
purpose to use. Such a beautiful,
Yeah.
exotic. The design
Indeed.
that went, it's probably one of the coolest helmets of any game ever, and no one wears it because it's useless. They're useless.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Blink is still the real deal, though. I was playing Rumble before this podcast. I got stuck by a fusion and then got the godly Blink where it's just like, you're allowed to live today.
Yeah, just drop it off. The poor man's shade step. But,
Actually, Shade Step and Twilight Garrison, advantage, throws you in third person. If you pull a sword hilt before blinking, throws you third person, and because the delay of blink, you can switch back to your primary before you can actually shoot. So now you have third person blink
Did
if
not
you
know
have
that.
the button combo.
Right on. So learn something. I didn't know that. Learn something new every day. But I'm right there with you, Fallout, when you say it's funny to watch some of these changes. Because in a lot of ways, I feel like they're kind of just slowly taking us back to year one. With a lot of the changes that they've made. Auto rifles, high impacts
We're
are
gonna come
basically
full
back
circle.
where they were.
It would
We're
be
coming full
nice.
circle, you
Yeah.
know? The changes to hand cannons, getting their initial accuracy from year one back. Auto rifles, high impacts are not back to their 1.0 self, but they're back to where they were before the February update. And now Blink's getting its recovery debuff removed, and I think it's going to be a good change because Blink got hit kind of hard
Yeah.
several times, and I didn't think the recovery nerf was really warranted.
Yeah.
Although I do definitely remember the large outcries from back in the day, especially during House of Wolves, of Blink Fellwinners.
that was the biggest nerf, was when it
Yeah.
changed how you handle weapons in midair with blink, because that's where the complaints were coming from. People were blinking into like incredible shotgun approaches. You just like roll up and it's like boom, death from above. You're screwed. Where's the next kill at? You know what I mean? And once they changed that, then the numbers for blink really went down. And then Bungie was like, let's just make sure. They did the recovery nerf.
Nail in the coffin.
And now they're like, let's really make sure. Take
That
HUD away.
nerf,
Get it out of there.
that nerf changed the order of operations for blink. It used to be blink then shoot. Now it's shoot then blink, so you can get a sideways lateral around somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
man.
little bit of a flank action there.
But good change, Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs up.
I don't know-
Bravo.
I don't know when we'll be seeing this. It is worth noting that all of these changes do come with an asterisk. They could change at any time.
Yeah.
Bungie was certain to say that in the update. But if everything goes according to plan, they state that these potential changes should join the changes that are going to be coming with the health regen changes. The Hungering Blade stuff that got kind of all borked up with hotfix 2.5.0.2. No idea when that's going to be coming around, but it's good to know that they've listened to a lot of the complaints from the community. The more valid ones, not the, remove sidearms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
complaints, and they're addressing it. And this is good. This is it's really good that they're taking an active role in discussing some of the things that they're testing so quickly after a hotfix.
Yep.
This is like super out of character for Bungie, which we very famously usually only get these sorts of updates every 6 months. So good. I'm happy with the changes that they've mentioned in here.
Me too.
At least most of them.
If they keep this up to Destiny 2, I'm on it full support. I can't
Yeah.
see any reason not to be.
Right.
Absolutely.
Especially even if there were changes I wasn't happy with, knowing that they're listening to things, and acting quickly makes it so
Yeah.
I'm not even that upset if there's anything I don't like.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful. Keep it up, guys. Keep it up, Bungie.
And it paves the way for trying things out. Like, if they're not sure and they're like, well, this change could potentially be an extremely positive change, but it needs to be released out into the wild before we can 100% confirm its positivity or not. Like, if they're more frequent, I mean, obviously we can't have them too frequently because it costs a fair whack of money to push a patch live, but that's no reason to not push a patch live. It's like you're making a game. You need to patch it regardless of how much money Sony and Microsoft have got their hands out for. So I think folks would be a lot more willing and a lot more accepting of these kind of changes, especially if they're going to be like something that needs to be tested. So as Cammy said, like, it paves a really decent way for Destiny 2 and restores a lot of faith, because we have to accept that, these patches have been few and far between. Communication has
Very
been,
much so.
considered quite poor as well. And, it's good. It's a good thing. I can only give
Definitely.
thumbs up, and it was a breath of fresh air. So if this is like a joint thing that Bungie have decided, or whether it's like Josh Hamrick's influence or whatever, huge thumbs up and massive gratitude for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've spoken about this on the show, and anybody who's followed me at any of my streams know I complain about it at least once every week. I was never really a fan of sort of the, I think Bungie described them as having weapon seasons, patching balance seasons, where they leave things the way they are for a long period of time. I think going 6 to 7 months without really updating your sandbox, especially when it comes to weapon balance, when it's in a state like it was with the Matador 64 or for a very large period of the Taken King, I don't think that did any favors for the actual community playing the game. And I'm not asking for Bungie to, be sort of like Blizzard is with Overwatch, where literally every month we're getting balance updates to every character. But moving forward with Destiny 2, I really hope they're taking a more active stance towards their sandbox environment for Crucible. And certainly, at least letting us know what's going on behind the scenes more often is definitely a step in the right direction.
Great point, man. Everyone wants to know behind the scenes stuff. I mean, you've got your favorite movie.
Oh, yeah.
They bring out a making
Yeah,
of, and you
dude.
watch that and you love it, So, like, knowing what a developer thinks and what their opinions are is like a huge, it's not just an insight. It's like you're satisfying like a hunger. A fan loves to hear that stuff. They love hearing, the actors talk about playing the role and how directors have, directed scenes, and how the special effects guys have come up with all the explosions and stuff like that. So this is a really good step in,
More
right
communication can only benefit both parties. Because
Exactly.
the community loves the communication. We're like, oh, this is what they're doing. Great. We don't feel like we're being left in the dark, even though that's not their intention. Like they just want to tinker behind the curtain for a long time because their goal is like, oh, we'll hit them with everything at once. It'll be huge and great. But like, we kind of don't want that so much because we're sitting here like, what are they doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like Mega said, sometimes they come out swinging for the fences with these changes, but like we just want like a little bit change at a time so we can see how it affects the game. They're like, screw shotguns, screw ammo. We're just like, whoa, what have you just done? So like some of this
Put
is
the
great, but
baseball
like,
bat
good
down.
lord, yeah, calm down, man. Like, Wormwood boys.
Yeah, put that
Maybe
Nerf
don't
bat
throw
down.
Bloom in and destroy an entire primary class. Please.
Yeah, but it can
Don't
only
do that.
it can only benefit both parties, in my opinion. And I think it's great that they put out that that update from Josh, and hopefully we can see more things like that in the future.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that pretty much covers it for the changes that they're working on right now. Only really other thing going on in the blog for this week is, of course, we've got Iron Banner next week. It's going to be starting up on Tuesday as usual. Should be fun. It's going to be Supremacy, which seems to make half of the crowd groan and the other half cheer. I like Supremacy.
Yep.
Me too.
I'm a fan of that game.
Yeah, I like it.
And it's a very
It's gonna be
different game
interesting
mode
with all
now.
sidearms.
It's
gonna
very,
be
very,
very, very
mode now.
different.
Yeah, I was
Super
like,
interesting
oh,
with that.
Supremacy, time to break out the, oh, wait a minute. Time to do something? I don't know.
Time to palindrome people
Time
and
to
maybe get to the
palindrome
crest in
mofos.
time.
You won't.
You won't.
Close and personal
You're
auto
going to
rifle.
get into Wormwood distance.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
So, yeah.
The
You
team
can't have-
tactics. I'm going to stick at this guy. It says to his friend, "You go run in and get both of our crests after I trade."
Plan for the trade, right?
Yeah.
there's a crest out in the middle of the open field, Mega. Get in there. Just slap a bullseye on his back and
That's
into the field.
That is 90% of my role in any teamwork based game. If I'm playing with people like Fallout, it's just you're the bait, and I know it. It's fine. I run out and I die, so he can get the kills.
I'm just
Fallout's
but I-
KD brought to you by my death.
Brought to you by Mega Magwitch. No, I like Supremacy, and I'm glad that it's coming back for Iron Banner. I mean, to the haters, to all the haters out there, you just want to play Control for the rest of your life? Come on.
Yeah, they do. That's the thing.
Mix it
They
up.
do. They just want
Mix it
control and
up.
control only.
It's like going into Haagen-Dazs
Iron
every
Banner
week.
Rumble.
Yes, I will take vanilla, please.
I'd take Iron Banner.
I'd take Iron Banner Rumble.
That would be awesome.
I would lose a lot at Iron Banner Rumble.
No doubt.
we
I
all
love
would.
that.
Oh yeah,
love Iron Banner. Rumble.
Better like a Mayhem Iron Banner. I think would be really fun.
Oh yes,
That would be quite bananas, yeah.
I've really
full of
grown
madness.
fond of Mayhem. Like when it first came out as a mode, I was like, "Yeah, this is too much. This is too
What
much." But
subclass
now
do you
I'm like,
play?
"Oh, it's back! It's back! Yes!" And then
Story, what subclass do you play in Mayhem? I'm just curious.
at the moment, Blade.
Blade?
I wanna play Blade.
Okay.
What a
I love it.
masochist!
Whoa!
I
I thought he was
love
going to say,
playing
like,
Blade.
Golden Gun or Noble
A
Gun.
Golden Gun, or you know,
I mean, it does get Golden Gun.
Sunbreaker?
Is
No.
I mean,
going
everyone
in.
is running Golden Gun in Mayhem, but I've had some really
course,
good games as Blade. Like, thanks. I mean, I use Blade. I religiously used the invisibility on Blade. So when you pop your Blade, you go invisible and you're off the map. And providing you don't jump or sprint, you're completely off the radar. You know. But
Yeah.
after watching Cammy's guide on Blade Dancing, if you haven't seen this, this is like a 34-minute feature-length guide to Blade Dance, which is easily the most in-depth, just not just in-depth, but really interesting exploration into all of the different possible ways that you can play and things that you'd never have thought of at all. So go and watch this guide because it will give you a rejuvenated love, even if you were a Year 1 Blade main, or if you've never touched it before, go and watch that. I'm going to spam the link for it at the end of the podcast when we do our goodbyes and everything, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, go
Much
watch that
appreciated.
stuff. Yeah, man. I can't imagine the amount of work that went into that video, but I've watched it twice now, and I will watch it again because that's how damn good it is. So, but yeah, Mayhem Blade. Watch the video, then go play some Mayhem. You know?
I'm gonna actually watch that because for the first time ever, I've started running Blade occasionally, just because I'm so
Really?
tired of hearing my friends bitch about Blade that I just want to know, like, how bad is it? How bad is it right now that you guys have to complain about it every
stuff,
single
man, yeah.
match nonstop?
stuff.
I just
It's
want to
great.
know.
It's just
It's a fun
You
class.
can't run a
Yeah.
cookie cutter
It's fun,
anymore.
man.
You have to run it greasy. And so that's basically it,
To
as
run it
simple as I can put it.
yeah, man.
That's the quote. Can't run a cookie cutter. Gotta run it greasy. Cut and print that right there.
I'm loving this
Yeah,
term
you know.
greasy for like playing dirty, like beyond dirty. It's greasy, you know.
Why don't you give us a little bit of that guide? How do you generally play Blade Dancer?
Well, when they said Hungering Blade nerf, I was like, well, why not just not use Hungering Blade? So I went Stalker. So then after running around in private matches, I was like, wait a second. Once you start sprinting, you go on the radar, but a second later, you're off the radar. So you can use that to your advantage to set up some crazy flanks. And if you have a coordinated team, you can tell them to feint and go crouch in a spot so they flick on the radar. And only when you're in that immediate inner circle of the radar do you actually appear. So you can get in there, throw a flux, and then deal with someone else. So that's 2 down for free.
Good stuff, man.
Look at
Yeah, you know, for the longest time, mainly because of how the class played in year one, where it was, I think, unquestionably the best class for PvP.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people just, they live and die by Hungering Blade. And I know personally, I don't think I ever really ran anything other than Hungering Blade.
There was no need
on
to.
Blade Dancer.
There was no need
There was
to.
no need to, yeah. So I did. That sounds cool to me. I might have to head into some Mayhem after we're done here and try that out, because I don't think I've ever used. I don't think I've ever even used that perk on
Are we
Blade
familiar
Dancer.
with
TBL was like, there are
short-stopping?
other slots in this?
Yeah. Talk about shortstop and camp for a moment.
Right. At some point in Destiny, I remember the Blade Dancer swiping consistent, but then everyone started getting smart and wising up and getting floating in the air and such with Titans and Warlocks to where you shortstop. You swipe at them, but don't hit them. Sometimes it even makes the sound. Sometimes it even takes away your energy, but it doesn't do damage. It doesn't kill them. So what I started doing is running Razor's Edge and using Blade as a grenadier kind of class. I just throw a grenade at them and shoot Razor's Edge and use the damage resistance to distract them.
It works.
Yeah.
And the
And,
invisibility when you pop your blade as well, that really helps. It doesn't stop the short stop problem. When we were playing Trials earlier on, I was using Blink, using blades, just going against the grain, having a great time with it. But there was some very clear short stop moments where there was 2 guys in front of me. I would have got an easy double if that melee, the registration would have
Had
actually
registered,
done what it's supposed to do, man. So be prepared for some frustrations, but it's still a really fun class. Like, just be aware of it. It's like, I could short stop. Don't risk everything for that blade kill, that arc blade kill. Just be
Especially
consciously
since you
aware
lose
of
special ammo.
it. Yes. But I suppose in Mayhem, it's not so bad because like you'll get your grenade back real quick. And there's special, hemorrhaging all over the place. So there's a lot of deaths in Mayhem anyway. But like, I've had some really good games recently with it.
Can I just say, I just had to think back about how we got on this Blade dissection and realized we Blade, Mayhem Clash, Iron Banner Supremacy. Somehow that's how we've ended up here. Iron Banner led us to a Blade.
We were talking about Mayhem, Iron Banner. That's
yes,
what got us
yes,
on.
yeah, I
that's how we
know.
got there.
But it's such a wild spread to me. That's how it went.
It's a
I like
beautiful
it.
thing.
Natural conversation, man.
It's a beautiful thing.
Sounds like a normal day on my channel. Somehow we get off topic.
Right on.
Good call.
Well, all right. That's pretty much it for the weekly update from Bungie, and I think that's pretty much it for this section of the conversation.
Real quick,
Time for questions.
before we do, I just want to throw out the guns for Iron Banner this time. You can get that lingering song. That's the only thing I care about. You can get that
And the laughing heart.
2-tap magic stick.
Look
the laughing
for
heart
that
sniper.
luck in the chamber roll on that hand cannon.
4
You get
shots.
those really frustrating.
Yep, that's what I do.
4-bullet magazine, luck in the chamber. Super dirty. Definitely try and get one.
Yep.
Definitely try and get one.
It is great. I've been using it since the first Iron Banner Supremacy. I love it. So,
Same here.
Yep.
Yeah. One of my favorite hand cannons right now. But all right, good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
Yep.
Is it time for questions?
Sure.
I think so, yes.
Yes.
Sure. Question mark?
Yeah. Questions.
not?
Questions.
Why not? Why not ask questions?
Uh,
Pull up the Twitter.
let's.
I got one that was sent to me directly from
Okay.
Skenny. Question for the podcast tonight. If Fallout and Mega played each other in Rumble, who would win, and why is Mega the obvious answer?
Because I would DDoS Fallout.
Wow.
I don't know. That's the only
That's
fucking
it,
way
dude.
that I would
Obviously.
possibly win. There's two ways that I win this. One, I DDoS him. Two, we're in the same place and I just punch him in the face when the match starts and he's so distracted.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, that's the only way. If I
was
could
gonna
get
say we
3
would
kills
tie.
the whole match.
We would tie because we would start singing together.
Exactly.
And
It'd
we'd
be
get
too much
distracted.
guy
That's
love.
exactly
for
what
us.
it'd be,
We
too
actually
much guy
did play
love.
Rumble. Like I think once we played one Rumble game together. When we were practicing for the podcast showdown, it was
that's
like
right.
before we were all on, you and I just went to a Rumble match. I think I
remember
killed
that.
you like a 1-to-7 ratio. Is how it went down. So
There were other people there. It was
Yeah.
just like you and me. Like,
I know, but every time, I mean, you were the only person I cared about killing just one time,
okay.
so I could
Obviously.
establish my manhood for a moment.
dude, that beard has given you permanent manhood establishment for your entire life. So,
That's what it's for.
So
That's
you're
the only reason
golden,
it's here,
okay?
to hide the fact that I watch Gilmore Girls every night and that I have no man credit. All right.
let's get some real questions.
Yeah,
in here.
real
One
questions. Real
directly for
questions.
Cammy, look. How did you get
Oh,
the
God.
name CammyCakes?
Ooh,
All right,
story
I'm
time.
gonna make
There you
this long story short. I was a cheerleader in high school, first name Cameron. So the girls on the team naturally called me CammyCakes, and I was like, "What's a funny Xbox Live gamer tag?" So I was like, "Let's go CammyCakes," because I just thought it was funny. Then lo and behold, months later, I'm somewhat decent at PvP, and people are cursing my name. CammyCakes? Do you realize how stupid that sounds? Like that still makes me giggle.
CammyCakes guy.
That's pretty funny, actually.
I just want to say, no offense, you do not have the build that I would imagine for a male cheerleader. As someone who had several male cheerleader friends, I expect a thicker neck.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have the thick male cheerleader
I can
neck.
go into
Thicker neck.
hours of conversation with that. Yeah, they're so much bigger than me. It's hard to make collegiate teams.
Lovely.
Good answer to a good question.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I like it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, if I ever play against you, I will scream to the heavens about that fucking CammyCakes guy and his stupid pocket infinity.
And the invis.
Yes. All right. Come on, question, boys.
There's another one for you. This is a good one, actually. Another one for Cam. With a name like CammyCakes, I'd like to know his favourite cereal or comfort food. This is from Keke
Ooh.
All
Hippo.
right. We have to
Good
ask this to
question.
every guest.
I'll just answer the cereal. And I actually had a cereal eating class back in sixes. I would throw on the Ahem Karas and throw trip mines on the wall and just eat cereal, calling out stuff to my team in third person.
Really
Yes.
Honey
funny.
bunches of oats.
Okay.
Good
okay.
answer.
Good choice, good
answer.
choice.
I feel like the only thing Fallout is really passionate about is video game PvP and cereal.
Yeah.
He's-
In
he's got a lot
that
of
order.
opinions.
We've discussed this multiple times.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Let's see. I've got one from Tasty Panda 9666. Great name. Says, should high rate of fire shotties and snipers respawn with some ammo to buff them a bit? No point in using them at the moment. Now, the high rate of fires would be stuff like the Proud Spire, the Iron Banner shotgun, or I guess like the Deposition 7, I think, from the new Monarchy,
Well,
which honestly didn't see a lot of use in Crucible, I don't think.
Occam's razor.
Occam's
Yeah, or the Occam's Razor, the Vanguard shotgun.
you know, that question brings up a really good point, and it's like there are just certain weapons that just have no usage in PvP because why? You know what I mean? Like a high rate of fire shotgun, why? High rate of fire sniper, why? Like, and it's a good idea trying to find a way to bring them in so that they can actually get used for once. But I don't know if you were to give them free ammo but not give ammo to the others, it would kind of create a very similar problem to the one we have right now.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe
Where,
like
like people are
free,
only
but you
using
keep a
the wormwood.
percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, it's an interesting question, and it's a very good one. Trying to fix kind of like a very interesting problem that we have, that there are just so many weapon types in the game. Just like, I'm not gonna use that bullshit
Yeah.
unless I'm making like a funny YouTube video, like, oh my god, isn't it hilarious
Yeah.
that I killed them with this gun or something like that?
I tried it
honestly-
today with the Occam's razor. Replenish full auto, then you quiver. 6 shots
did
in
that work
between
out?
each quiver. It sucked. They just like laughed in my face and shot me with wormwood,
It
even though I was
sucked.
shooting tethers at their
Yeah.
feet and unloading
Yeah.
shells.
Well, you know what, Cammy? God love you for trying, brother.
Yes. But when even he says it sucked, that lets me know I'm never going to use that.
Oh my God, just don't do it.
Saves you the bother.
Yeah.
And that's always been the problem with some of those lesser used archetypes, because like you take the Occam's Razor or the Proud Spire, yeah, they're capable of hitting the same range stats as like, a Matador 64, but that basically cut in half impact means you have to be much closer to get a one-shot kill. And why would you use that? It's like using the faster rate of fire hand cannons right now. Most of them are 4-shot kills. Why would you purposely, and most of them have naturally less range, why would you use that over a 2281 Fatebringer archetype?
When
There's no
sidearms
line.
do the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Better. They do it better.
It's a gun without a purpose. Truly, gun without a purpose.
Yeah, good question. Good question.
Great question.
Yeah, I don't think it'd just be the same thing with sidearms.
Exactly. It's not making the gun good. It's just making a bad gun the only option. Like that.
Yeah.
Great way of putting it.
That is probably the most beautiful way I've heard it said. Sidearms aren't broken right now.
Yeah.
They just took the environment and made bad guns the only option. Beautiful. Excellent.
There's one in the Twitch chat from Slurpuff Gaming. Should Thorn damage over time be buffed back to pre-April update 2016 since we have memory of Sillimar?
No, just give it its range back. that's my answer.
I
Just
agree
give
with
it its
that.
range back.
I would like
completely.
something to happen with Thorn. I don't know. I miss Thorn. Don't you?
I
You
do.
guys miss Thorn? I do.
Very much so.
A bit.
Yeah.
I miss shooting them in the body and then seeing those numbers and pre-charging a fusion rifle.
Yeah.
But
And
no,
waiting.
can't do that anymore.
Or, firebolt, and then pop, turn around, walk
Yeah.
away laughing as a Michael Bay explosion goes on in the background. Because I think at its peak, what did Thorn's dot do? 7, 9,
7.
somewhere?
It was 7, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was really
and it does
high.
like 2 now and stacks. Does
it does
stack
1,
up?
I'm pretty sure.
One?
It displays as 2, but I'm pretty sure it does like 1 point.
In its prime, it was a 2-shot
yeah.
headshot, so we can safely assume
Yeah.
somewhere in the 200 range for total damage.
Exactly.
That's the thing. I don't want to go back to the days where you could. I never thought the 2-shot headshot was a problem with Thorn because it at least took skill. But the days when they basically took that away, it just became a 3-shot body shot weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of because of the burn, and that's what I had a problem with Thorn, because it basically took away it allowed you to be lazy. It took away any incentive to go for precision shots and just said, hey, if you're in range, which Thorn had massive range, just pop 3 in the body and walk away. I want Thorn to be able to 3-shot, if you get a primary shot and 2 body shots, but it's just a weird weapon to balance.
So what if they bring up
balance.
Yeah.
Thorn's burn damage, but they make the burn work something like Luck in the Chamber, where only like half of the shots have a chance of doing the burn or something?
Did
like
anyone use the original Thorn before it got buffed? Back
Yes.
when it had 6
Yeah.
terrible terrible reload, abysmal
Terrible
stats.
reload. Yeah.
I wanted
I
that
still
gun
used
to
it.
be good. Yeah, I used it, but I didn't like it very much. But I
The
was
idea-
in love with the design, so I used it a lot.
The idea was if you shoot someone, they're not recovering health, and we know warlocks have very quick recovery. Now the burn's not as long, so you can't take as much of an advantage unless you shoot someone who uses blink because they have no recovery. But
Yeah. And I guess there's also an artifact now specifically designed to neutralize the effect of damage over time. So maybe they could buff the damage over time for Thorn back up. But really, in my opinion, all it needs back is its range. That 25%
Agreed.
range nerf they hit it with a few patches ago, I thought was absolutely
nice.
unnecessary. Yeah.
That might be nice. Yeah.
There's a very good question.
I've like
from
never shot Thorn. I hate how it looks. I just don't. I'm like the one person who doesn't
I
love its
love how it
aesthetic.
looks.
I think it looks
You don't like
goofy.
it?
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Even with the
awesome.
ornaments?
Yeah, I don't like any of it.
Oh, get
It
the
looks
hell outta
it looks
here.
so goofy and out
Who
of
is
place
this
to me when I
Who
fire
is
it. I
this
don't know
guy?
what it is. I really hate its gigantic spike bullets in the wall. Just it looks like a
To quote
PlayStation
my
2
two
gun
guns,
to
man.
me.
To quote my good friend Link,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Sorry guys, I gotta drop controversial opinions every now and then.
I always
we
thought
love you for it.
Thorn
Yeah,
was one of aesthetically the best looking guns in the game, just not just with the way the gun was shaped, but the fact that it actually fires like these nails. I always thought that was super duper cool. Piercing shots too, but yeah, I'd like to see Thorn get its range back, please.
For your guys' sake, I'll vote for it too, because I love you. All right.
It kind of
yeah,
sucks
it's my
right
stamp of
now.
approval.
Here's a good one that can inspire some good conversation to us all from Battle Crates TV. How do we feel about the current usage across the primary and special weapons? He's linked to a stat distribution from Guardian GG that clearly shows hand cannons at the top, second in line auto rifles, pulse rifles, and then sidearms and so forth. But I think we all know how the stat distribution feels to play. So how do we feel about it when we go into the Crucible? Is it in a good spot right now?
I feel like we talked about this ad nauseum already, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, I mean,
I'm good with how primaries are. Say that, like the percentage breakdowns on them, but the specials, like we've
hand
said,
cannons are
just,
clearly at the top. I think.
Yeah.
clearly.
They're a lot of fun, but like, for example, like I will always gravitate towards hand cannons because they're my favorite weapon group. However, I've played a lot recently where the map's been, say, Widow's Court, and all the good players, like I literally checked them all out, stat hoard them and everything. All the good players were using really decent scouts, you know?
Really?
And they were wrecking with it. There was this one guy with a crazy high KD and a crazy high ELO across all the board, like a real long-term Crucible player with a Collivance's duty. He would always, he wasn't camping. The guy was always in a different spot, right? And he wasn't always moving around the place, always taking people by surprise. And he was wrecking face with this thing because distance. Hand cannons are pretty much useless at distance. And anything past the 30 meter kind of region.
Max, yeah.
The damage drop-off thing does put them in line. However, the big problem that we've got is that not many maps facilitate or accommodate really good scout rifles. So he just chose the best weapon for the map there. So there's still maps that kind of not dictate, but persuade you to use the different kinds of weapons. But because most maps are close quarters, hand cannons are right up there. And I think that's why we're seeing so much of a usage. And that doesn't mean Bungie doesn't mean nerf. It does not mean nerf. It means that we either need, you know, different, a bit more variety of larger maps, maybe, or
which is something that is pretty much impossible to happen in Destiny 1 right now.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so I just don't think we can make it any better than it is right now for primaries, because I agree that they all have a place like that they can work well right now. It's just that all of the maps really most of them only have the one place.
Yeah,
that you
I was
could
very
optimal for hand cannons.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised to see how high the auto rifle usage is at the moment, because they're not terrible. They're not back where they were in year one. They're a step closer, or a couple steps closer. But you can have fun with auto rifles now. They're just not as competitive as the other choices around.
Yeah.
the Icarus change all around the board was huge. That is huge thumbs up to Bungie. That easily creates another skill gap because people who can use their airspace now have an advantage.
In-air accuracy. That was a very big change. And of course, they upped the in-air accuracy of basically all of the non-hand cannon primaries, because hand cannons already had really great in-air accuracy. Yeah, it's about time. And you know, there's definitely some truth to that. I've been noticing a lot of Jade Rabbits in the Crucible as of late, which makes me happy because I thought people forgot about that exotic. Jade Rabbit's great. And personally, I've been whipping out the Mida multi-tool every now and again, which is still one of my favorite weapons in Destiny's entire history. So, you know, it's good to see. It's good to see some variety there. Ultimately, I don't think much has changed usage-wise. Hand cannons are still the top used class. Pulse rifles are still very good. The only thing, the biggest change, I guess, would be everybody swap from shotguns to sidearms. But it's still very interesting. And of course, you know, I'm happy with the changes to high-impact auto rifles. What do you guys think about mid-impacts? I mean, I don't know if anybody here actually uses mid-impact auto rifles, but I haven't had much of a chance to play around with them. And of course, they didn't get any sort of change in Hotfix 2.5.0.
What's your classical mid-impact? Reel off some names.
Monte Carlo, Hard
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen them
Lock-on
more
satchel.
often right now. I have some friends who really like Monte Carlo, and I mean they didn't get a big change, but all auto rifles got a precision damage buff, right? So they got something, didn't they?
I think it was just the high impacts that got
Was
the
it? I
damage.
thought that they all were supposed to get it, and maybe I'm crazy.
I think it was
don't-
just the high impacts.
I
that
will
got
believe
ADD.
you, the Black Link, but I'll take your word for it.
I want to say.
All right, you say it. But yeah, I've seen Hardlight and Monte Carlo showing
thought it
up
was-
more.
I thought it was all of them too. I thought
That's
they all got it.
that's what I'm saying.
Because
I think
because I made a comment.
Let's look it up.
yeah, high
think I made
impact's
a comment
got
when someone
an
was like-
overall damage buff, and they all got precision.
That's what it was. 'Cause
what
someone was like,
I
"Oh,
thought it
Doctrine
was.
of Dr. Passion is going to be really money now." But I'm like, "Is it though? It's a bullet hose. You're not going to like aim for the head."
Yeah,
Yeah,
know what I
bullet
mean?
difference doesn't.
I think
make
it was.
that
I
big of
think
a
it
difference.
was. I think it was to all auto rifles. I could be wrong though.
I
I think the
looking it up.
precision was to all right. I gotta look it up before I say it. But
Yeah.
Maybe I'm making up memories like the time
I used the
made
Doctrine
the
in Rumble
conversation
today with
between me and Story.
Angel of Lights on the Sunsinger, Lord of Wolves, so that when you pick up special, it's one reload. Right?
Yeah.
Because Angel of Light puts you in the air, you got persistence. The auto rifle starts revving. But the time you fall out of Angel of Light, you get that persistence buff. Now with the new Icarus, it's a laser. You can take two
Yeah.
people down in one air strafe.
And can we
I have
just say,
this-
Nice.
I'm sorry.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
going to say, just really quickly, persistence is such an underrated perk. It's a fantastic perk for auto rifles right now. Now go ahead. I found the stats, but go ahead.
I wasn't gonna say anything meaningful. I was just saying how like before CammyCakes goes into a game of PvP, he's just sitting there on his couch thinking, "How can I fuck with people? Like,
Oh,
what
that game irritated me too.
perks? What
I'll tell you why.
weapons could I put on?" And like, yeah.
Rumble's
I wanna
starting
get-
with 4 people lately. So I was on pace for like a 3-minute game and they kept leaving.
Oh my god, that's really irritating.
Yeah.
It's like you have like a chalkboard. You're like, I would like to get 10 angry post game messages today. So this is the loadout I'm gonna use right now. But
Rolling in
no,
with
I
the
think it's really entertaining that we have many people in the community like you who aren't slaves to the meta, like myself. But you just because there's no seriously,
Yeah.
that's kind of the way I play. But it's fun and interesting to branch out and try new things because you never know what you're gonna find. You might find something really entertaining and viable. And if you just find something entertaining, which is just gonna work for a little bit, that's okay. At least you still have fun playing a different way.
Yeah, or even if it's circumstantial or scenario based, you know,
Totally, yeah.
recognizing, oh, this is good. Like, just play with Cam. Like, I seriously, it's like, oh, they're using this, or they're trying to do that, or I've seen them do this. I'm gonna switch. It's like switching all the time, reading what the enemy are doing and how things are playing and how, you know, how things are kind of progressing. It's
Yeah,
really,
that's
really
easiest
Keeps you
interesting.
sharp.
Yeah,
You
man.
play to their weakness, not to your strength. That's
Yeah.
what you do with your loadout.
Ooh, look at that.
Super.
Well, all right.
And
I've
this is
got
a-
the actual change to auto rifles here.
All right.
So this is what they did. With auto rifles, they've increased the precision damage modifier of all auto rifles from 1.3 to 1 or from 1.25 to 1.3. But the increase in base damage to auto rifles was only done for the low rate of fires. So all of them got a precision damage buff.
There it is.
Which-
That's why I thought, and that's the only reason I could think
There you
why
go.
I would be seeing more hard lights or Monte
Right,
Carlos
right.
is because some people are aiming for that head. They're trying to,
Why not?
why not? Yeah, but I haven't used one myself, so I can't even. So this whole point is moot. I have not fired a single mid impact thing. I've just seen a couple more in passing, I think. So there you go.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is time.
There it is.
Oh
It's
no.
time, yes. So it's time to do our plugs and say our goodbyes and do all our raids and stuff. So we'll start
Fast.
off by thanking our guest, CammyCakes, for gracing us with your presence for this podcast. We'd definitely like to have you back. I'm going to choose this moment now before we do any raids to spam the link to the Ultimate Blade Dancer Guide. And you get a double
Excellent.
whammy with that as well in the chat because you can go subscribe to Cammy's YouTube and educate yourself on all things variable.
And for those of you not in the Twitch live but listening to the podcast later, Cammy, what is that YouTube channel name, please?
YouTube.com/CammyCakesGaming.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Please go over
I
there.
can remember that.
Give him a
That's gonna be
sub.
tough.
Check him out.
Much
stuff,
appreciated, guys.
Yeah.
Anytime,
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, Link, would you care to do us an outro for the recording? We will then go on to do a raid, a Twitch raid, but as for an outro for the podcast.
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Planet Destiny Podcast, episode 110. Again, a special thanks to our guest, CammyCakes from CammyCakes Gaming. Great to have you here, man. Hope to have you back soon.